special guests who've asked to say a few words about Bryan. Our first speaker today is known for the role of Jay Peterman on the NBC sitcom Seinfeld, and he was the host of the game show Family Feud from 2006 to 2010. Please welcome actor John O'Hurley.
I thought it was going to be Steve Harvey.
As one of Bryan's oldest friends, I was asked to talk about Bryan Cranston in the early years. You heard our gracious MC make an attempt to uncover the first 8 years of Bryan's life, and oddly enough, there's not much there. But I have been able to cull a few details that I thought were particularly interesting, and I wanted to share with you today. Bryan was born, as you know, in the San Fernando Valley at a young age. He was not a particularly attractive child, even by Canoga Park standards. But what little we do know about those first years of his life, one important thing stands out, that sometime in those early years, Bryan was able to climb over the valley to the top of Mulholland Drive and look over here into Hollywood, the entertainment capital of the world, and look down here and say, I want some of that. Now, this dream in the hands of any other young actor would have led them to the High School of Performing Arts, perhaps to Juilliard for a master's in drama, perhaps even a chance to set foot on the Broadway stage. Don't you go anywhere, baby. But not so for Bryan, because as we all know, those of us who know him personally, Bryan is an authentic man. And he was going to carve out a path that was true to him. But he knew the strength of preparation, and he knew that the actor had to prepare. The first thing he did was to buy a copy of the map to the Hollywood star's home. For years, he could be found standing in front of any one of these addresses, trying to absorb the good juju from the people that he so admired. Today, we call that stalking. He then went on to take the Universal Studio Tour, and within months he could name all 42 of the movie's stages chronologically. Bryan finally felt that he was ready to take Hollywood head-on, though. As I said, the actor does prepare, and his first tango with Tinseltown actually came as bachelor number 3 on the dating game. Sadly, though, Bryan was not selected for the date. It sent him into a tailspin. Because, as I said, Bryan is an authentic man. It made him dig deeper. And so then, he went to Los Angeles Valley Community College and got an associate's degree in police studies.
Yeah!
And that rewarded him with a role on a very, very special episode of Chips. And since then, he's gone on to do some other stuff as well. Seriously, I use the word authentic several times when I describe Bryan. I use that word deliberately because I think that Hollywood is screaming for authentic men. And yet I also think that it is one of the most endangered qualities we have today. And when Hollywood finds someone like Bryan, it embraces them so tightly it will not let them go. And I think that's why we are really here today. Because today is not really about celebrating a star, it is really a fanfare for the common man. Because I believe that an authentic man is someone who is capable of creating a complex and compelling character. And then with the spirit of Spencer Tracy, quietly hop in his car, drive back up over the hill to his home, to his wife Robin, to his daughter Taylor, and say, how was your day? And not caring any one moment whether his home ever appeared on the map of Hollywood stars.
Aww.
The irony of it really is that at the same time Bryan was peering up over that hill to Hollywood, that same year I was walking these streets and the streets that you see in front of you as a first-time visitor from the East Coast, enamored with the possibilities of being an actor and wondering if I would ever get to meet one of these people. What a paradox it is that all I had to do was look gently over my right shoulder to a man that I consider my oldest and dearest friend.
Oh, that's sweet.
So today is really not a punctuation point in your career, and it really is just a pause, because you are so deeply on an upswing. And we will never know, but we will watch it happen, how great you will become. Your work continues to cast a very large shadow over Hollywood. Bryan and I say, on behalf of all of the people that are gathered here today, the people that love you and embrace you, we are very proud to be standing in that shadow. I love you, man.
Thank you, John.